All right. Good morning in Northeast Wisconsin. Wow, what a storm we just had. It wasn't an April blizzard from 2018, but it was still quite the whopper across Northeast Wisconsin. Hi, I'm First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Balon in the First Alert Weather Center, coming to you live. And you're watching our streaming weathercast here. And, you could be watching this on Roku or perhaps YouTube or on Facebook. And I appreciate you tuning in to get an update on what's going on with our spring snowstorm, which is swirling right over top of Lake Michigan. It's making for a bit of a raw morning, and that's for sure. All right, so let's give you a live look at what's going on outside. In fact, if I can punch the right buttons here, I've got not one, not two, but I've got 6 sky cams for you. Boom, 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 boom. Green Bay, Shawano, Appleton, Oshkosh, Sturgeon Bay, and Manitowoc. Looks pretty wet out there, huh? A soggy start to the day, a slushy, sloppy day, all those S adjectives. This snow, man, was it really heavy? In order for me to do the weather in the morning, I have to go to bed really early. And I was out on my driveway shoveling and snow blowing last evening around 8 o'clock. And I cannot recall from recent memory a snow that was so bogged down with water. I mean, when I came back inside, I was just a drowned rat. I was just drenched from head to toe. And my snowblower got clogged up several times. You can just see how wet it is. And the big thing is that because our temperatures are at and just above freezing. And it's been like that since the overnight hours. And that's why the snow is just so soggy and sticky and difficult to move. So that's just something we have to deal with, unfortunately, as we go through today. Because that snow was so heavy, so water-laden, and you combine that with the wind that came through last night with gusts around 50 miles an hour, we've got numerous power outages across northeast Wisconsin. The worst blackout areas are out of Outagamie County, Brown County, Door County, and Marinette County. I'm seeing that Door, Outagamie, and Marinette counties, and Brown too. All 4 of those counties have at least 12,000 people in the dark this morning. And I know the power crews are out. They're working hard to try to get things restored. So just try to give them some time. Be patient. This was quite a storm. There's a lot of work for them to be done. There was a lot of work to be done last night by the road crews. And I think for the most part, they did a marvelous job. Not all of northeast Wisconsin is looking good, especially side and secondary roads, especially in the north, but a lot of the main roads are in pretty decent shape compared to some storms that we would normally see that could produce as much snow as we did. Right now, First Alert ViberMax shows lighter snow in northeast Wisconsin. It's still kind of swirling around low pressure. Now, the low pressure system is right over top of Lake Michigan. You see how the snow is swirling down through Wisconsin into Illinois. There's a storm, the center of this low pressure system is in between Milwaukee and Grand Rapids, and all that moisture is going around and around and around. And it'll continue to do so today until this storm finally wobbles out of northeast Wisconsin. All right, so let's take a look here at some snowfall totals that we've had across the area. Now, I've seen a wide variety of totals. A bunch of these, at least on the higher end, came in the Weather Center last night. These are mainly recorded around 9, 10, 11 o'clock in the evening. And we have totals anywhere from 6 to 9 inches. Pulsifer, 9.5 inches. 8 inches in Greenville. Got a report of 7.9. That's near Whitman Field in Oshkosh. Our buddy Jerry Burke, you remember Jerry Burke, right? Our former bureau chief down in the valley. He didn't have quite as much, but he checked that snow, not overnight, but early this morning. And I suspect that overnight, a lot of melting and compacting happened because the snow is so soggy and wet. And a lot of the totals that you're about to see now on the lower end were recorded this morning. Now, Green Bay National Weather Service, that 5.1, that was up through midnight. And we got a little bit more, but there's been some melting and some compacting. And so I wouldn't be surprised if you were to go out and measure it, it's actually lower than 5.1. That De Pere total of 3.7, excuse me, that was recorded earlier this morning. So as much as that snow came down last evening, it's really hard to get out there and accurately measure it because it's been melting away just as fast as it's been accumulating during the overnight hours. Now, we're still under a winter storm warning for the white shaded counties until 1 o'clock this afternoon. Lake Winnebago into portions of upper Michigan. The blue shaded counties, Green Lake, Marquette, Fond du Lac, Sheboygan, Manitowoc counties, winter weather advisory also expiring at 1 o'clock this afternoon. A lot of folks in the valley and to the north are getting 6 to 12 inches of snow when it's all said and done. Kind of hard to believe it in a sense that it's been melting and compacting, and so when you go out there with a ruler to measure it, you may not get those higher totals. You may have totals that actually fall shy of 6 inches, and it's not that you didn't get 6 to 12 inches of snow, it's just been melting away because our temperatures over the past 24 hours have been at and just above freezing. And that's where they're going to stay today. We'll be just hovering in the mid-30s, a high of 36 in Green Bay. Some windy weather this morning, but it will not be as strong of a wind as what we had last night when some of the gusts were up around 50 miles an hour. We'll find wind and snow and some mixed precipitation. A little bit of some sleet and some rain will be blending in. So there are the temperatures we have right now. 35 in Shawano, 35 in Fond du Lac. It is 32 degrees in Sheboygan. And there's the wind. You can even see where the circulation is, just south of Sheboygan. That north wind coming behind low pressure is sustained around 25 miles an hour, but a lot of the gusts this hour are closer to 30, even approaching 40 miles an hour towards Fond du Lac. So strong winds, but not quite as strong as what we had last night. But when you get that wind and the snow falling, it's going to reduce visibility. So if you're traveling this morning, just know that your visibility may drop down to and even below a mile if the snow is coming down hard enough. And that may cause some issues as you're trying to get to where you got to go. All right, so here's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor. And we're tracking our hourly wind speeds and wind gusts. And you can see that the winds will slowly slow down or gradually weaken. It's still going to be blustery this afternoon. You're looking at north winds gusting around 25, 30 miles an hour. It's just that it won't be as fierce as what got the trees swaying around yesterday and last night. And a lot of those trees are breaking off branches and even tipping over in some places, and that's why we got so many power outages. Yes, there's snow in the forecast for today, but it will not be as heavy as what we got last night. Now, breaking weather news. I'm reading this to you. Remember I mentioned Jerry Burke, our former bureau chief? He sends me a message here, and he says, Steve, Oshkosh update, 8.8 at his friend's house by Whitman Field. At his house, 5 inches of slop or glop. So, and it just goes to show that snowfall totals can vary over a short distance. But again, a lot of that has been melting away. And what we get today will not be as heavy as what we just received through last night. So there's First Alert Pinpoint Predictor with the snow, which will be mixed with some rain and some sleet, especially closer to the lakeshore. That band of snow coming in from the north and east will continue to swirl into the valley as we go through this afternoon. And then tonight, this will probably dissipate into some spotty or scattered snow showers or a little bit of a mix. So on top of the snow you got, another slushy inch or so is possible in the Fox Valley and in the north as well. Notice the lakeshore, a lot of zeros there on the map. I don't think you're going to see any more additional snowfall. You'll be dealing with more rain and sleet as opposed to some snow. So your severe weather outlook is going to be in the moderate category for the rest of today. It is a first alert weather day. Road conditions will be getting better, and there might be a couple slick spots tomorrow morning, especially if we have any melting and refreezing, although I don't think it's going to be a widespread problem. And then after that, the severe weather outlook is very low for Friday all the way into early next week. And that's when our temperatures are going to be warming up. Now, right now it's 34, feels like 22. We got a north wind at 24 miles an hour. Today, Wednesday, first alert weather day, strong winds, especially this morning, wet snow or a mix, another slushy inch or two possible, a high of 36 degrees. Tonight, snow showers, some wintry mix possible, still kind of blustery, but not the same kind of wind that we just felt, a low of 33. Now, the first alert 7-day forecast, look at those temperatures going up. 40 tomorrow, more 40s for Friday and Saturday, and then if all breaks just right, we'll see some 50s, even highs around 60 early next week. So with that kind of milder weather returning, the snow you just got, it's going to be melting away in the next few days. There's probably going to be some major melting between now and the weekend. So I know that snow is really heavy and really difficult to move. But try to clear it off of any storm drains, any sewer grates that are near you, because you don't really want piles and big piles of slush sitting over areas that take on that runoff from the melting snow. Otherwise, you're going to have lots of ponding water, standing water, and that's not so good. Now, the one thing that I can say that is all this runoff is good for our farming friends. You know, we've been dealing with drought conditions for the past several months, going back to last year. And this snow is probably welcome. I don't think they'll be doing any planting in the too near future because the fields will be pretty muddy. But this moisture really needs to get into the water table because that really bodes well for more success as we go into the growing season, which really isn't all that far away. It is early April, after all. Depending on how you're watching this, if you're not using our free WBAY First Alert Weather app, well, that has me scratching my head because it really does a lot for you. You get movies and video clips that we send to you multiple times a day with forecast updates. You get our Doppler radar to track the storms. You get our hour-by-hour forecast. And you don't even have to be in your hometown. You can be anywhere. My family and I, last week, we took a trip to Tennessee. And I used our app to see the forecast for where my in-laws live. And I found that really handy. So, you know, whether it's spring break or summer vacation or anything in between, wherever you go, take our app along with you. You can scan the QR code on the right side of your screen to download it to your device. It's kind of hard to do that when you're actually on your phone. But if you are watching this you know, on a TV set, you know, you're streaming this on Roku or on YouTube or on Facebook, and you've got your smartphone, you can just go ahead and scan the QR code. Can you tell I'm a New York Rangers fan? I'm a big hockey fan. I love the Rangers. I grew up out east. What's the matter for you? I can like the Rangers. Still like the Packers, though. Anyway, meteorologist Keith Gibson is coming up on Action 2 News at noon. And he's going to go through what's going on with our weather, go through the latest data, track the snow, and keep us all informed. All right, so let's go back to our camera here. Yep, so this storm, it's not done, but the worst of it is behind us now. The strongest winds are behind us. The heaviest snow is behind us. Now the storm is going to slowly peter out between now and this evening. And even tomorrow, there still could be a couple leftover rain and snow showers and some wind. But between now and this evening, you'll notice a very gradual improvement on what's going on. So our first alert weather day will likely come to an end sometime during the midday. And the winter storm warning and the winter weather advisory from the Weather Service will be expiring 1 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have some more details coming up on Action 2 News mid-morning. Catherine Bracho will be tracking our top stories and giving you an update on traffic, and we'll also see if we can pull up that power outage map again to see if things are getting better in that regard as power crews continue to work to try to improve things across the area after all those tree branches and even trees came down across the area because of all that heavy snow and wind. All right, be safe out there. Thanks for tuning into our live stream. Hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday. See you around.